So this week I had the biggest win that I've had on this challenge so far, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it. What's going on, guys? My name is Joel on the track. I'm a music producer and audio engineer, and I own a digital production company helping musicians and music industry professionals present themselves online in whatever way they see fit. Whether that be short form content, long form content, live streams, single or multicam podcasts, I'm the guy that can help you do it. Now, I'm really excited about this win because it's one step in a multi-step process. But before that, let's talk about what this week looked like. We started on Monday, did a good amount of work, but I did another one-on-one with Orian. She's in the process of learning a lot about Ableton, so our one-on-ones are pretty consistent. Last week, going over things like sound design, understanding why and when you EQ, and all the things that are going to help set her up as an Ableton Everything artist. She makes electronic music. She also sings on her records. So the stuff that we're going over is really specific to what she does. Now, Tuesday, I didn't really do that much. It was a lot of work, but that was the day that I found the items, and I can't wait to show you guys what it is. I'm going to tell you about the rest of my week, but just know I'm really excited. On Wednesday was probably my busiest day. I had to wake up early, not only because I had to do the stream with Jane, but we started the stream earlier than we typically would on a Friday. And the reason for that is because I had to leave the stream early to head over to the whole other side of Los Angeles, so I could meet up with the owner of Mentee and my new first-time client. Six is an amazing producer. He's produced for a ton of people, but most notably, he's Logic's producer. We did his first Nero stream, so we had to set him up on the computer, get everything on Streamlabs looking the way that we needed to. Everything ran smoothly. We hung out for a little bit afterwards. All in all, an amazing day, an amazing stream for Six, an amazing stream for Jane. She ended up continuing after I left. I love seeing the people that I work with be able to start handling things on their own. Like, Jane's a really fast learner, so like understanding Streamlabs and stuff, she started to get the hang of it. It's becoming easier and easier for her. So on the days that I do have to do something like leave a little early, she can still have everything she needs. On Thursday, a lot of computer work up until the end of my day. What did I do at the end of my day? It was Spotlight series, so I had to drive over to the Peppermint Club in West Hollywood, where I had to film all the performances, get all the short form content ready so that we had consistent posting for the social media management. There's actually multiple shows coming up that are going to be really, really cool, including the big one for BET Weekend. So I'm kind of mentally already preparing how much content is going to be required of me for that time, but I'm excited to do it. Spotlight series is dope. I also do their social media, so it's one of those clients where it's not just a pull up and shoot. Content and stuff ends up getting rolled out. Those are my favorite kind of clients. I love a good retainer client. I'd rather work with a couple of people and give them everything that they need and help them be consistent than try to take on 50 people at once, kind of doing little things for them here and there. When we have full control over the creative and the branding, everything becomes easier. Now on Friday, because that was the day that I would normally be streaming with Jane, it ended up just becoming a computer work day. My artist Ren and I ended up doing what we are hoping is some of the final tweaks on a new record that we're going to drop. I can't tell you guys about it yet, but just know it's going to sound really sick, and I'm really excited to drop it. Saturday, pretty free most of the day. A lot of these days this week was a lot of free time in the beginning of the day, and then I got busy later. What I did on Saturday is I started a new series for me. It's not necessarily a review. It's essentially a music and branding consultation. I call it Dropworthy. That's when you send in your record. We're going to examine if the record sounds good enough to push. For the super specific notes, that's kind of what I do with Jane, so I want to keep it that. But what I do on Dropworthy is I'll listen to the record. If it's dope, I'll pull you up and we'll have a consultation. In that consultation, if you don't already, I end up giving you the tools that I personally use, not only for my own brand, but to literally make money, and how I end up helping a lot of my clients. So the information I'm giving you isn't like bullshit. I'm not like trying to sell you something. It's the stuff that I literally use to do everything that I do. It went really well, had a good amount of submissions, had quite a few people come up. We talked about it, listened to some good music, listened to some music that needed some work. I got some great clips. Those are coming on the way. It's something I'm excited to do because the services that I can provide and the information that I do have and the stuff I help with my clients directly coincides with the feedback and the follow-up conversation that comes after we listen to the record. I really think a lot of artists don't know what to do. So a starting point, whether you move on to other things like different schedulers or a different editor, or this ends up becoming part of your major workflow, it's just good information to have and a good place to start for anybody wanting to make any sort of content, but specifically music-based content, definitely. Sunday, had another one-on-one with my boy Silky. We're trying to lock in weekly, at least for the rest of this month. We're doing some video editing. This week specifically, we went over a record that he's working on with a friend. We ended up even doing an additional hour, and I taught him some things just about signal flow, understanding when to EQ, when to compress, why you do those things, some mixing fundamentals and some mindsets to go into mixing so you're not causing more problems for yourself than you're fixing. I think a lot of people hear, oh, this needs to be compressed or this needs to be EQ'd, but they don't necessarily know why they're doing specific things or when to address certain things at which point in your signal flow. And people on the internet will just kind of throw out really vague, helpful information. So there's really no understanding of like what these tools actually do and why you should be using them or when you should be using them at certain times. Not all compressors are made the same, not all EQs are made the same. Sometimes you're going for removal, sometimes you're going for color, sometimes you're going to add, sometimes you need a dynamic EQ. So understanding the differences and when you're going to use what becomes unbelievably helpful. After which point, you know what time it is. It's Sunday. So I had to go to the range, had to meet up with Orian. We got a couple shots in. We even did a little bit of putting afterwards. But for the most part, it was a relatively chill week for me. This might not sound chill, but for me, like I normally have double as much to do as I did this week. I like a chill week. I get to relax. I get to sleep. I get a little bit of rest. I get to recoup. I had a lot of time to think about kind of how I want to bust things down and where I want to start doing different things. So I'm really excited about that. But that was my week. Enough about my week. Let's find out what I found on Tuesday. Now, before I grab it, I want to leave a little caveat. The typical price for this type of item is not cheap. Your boy got acoustic treatment. Not only did I get acoustic treatment, but the deal I got on the acoustic treatment. These are 2 corner traps and then I got 2 actual panels. I'm most likely gonna like reupholster these and add a different fabric just so it matches the vibe of my studio more. But the reason that I was so excited about grabbing these, typically acoustic treatment can run you from $70 all the way up to over $100 for each panel. So when you're thinking about putting things on the ceiling, when you're putting things on the walls, behind you, to the sides of you, it can get pretty expensive. But I didn't pay $70 to $100 or maybe more dollars for these. I actually paid $20 for all of them. There was a guy that I found on Facebook who was just trying to get rid of stuff. And he said, $20 if you can come pick it up today. I hit him immediately. And the second he said, yep, it's yours, I hopped in my car, fast broke over to him. I grabbed the panels, threw them in my car. I feel like I got away with borderline a crime. $20 for acoustic panels? For all 4 of these, for bass traps and for panels, $20? Man, I'm telling you guys, this is the part of this series that I'm like really heavy on. I want people to understand. Most people's biggest excuse is that they don't have enough money. It's not that you don't have enough money. It's that you're not paying attention to the things that you could be because you're worried about the fact that you don't have enough money. $20 for acoustic panels. Let's say on a normal day, you might be able to find varying prices of acoustic panels. If you're a little crafty, you could reupholster a bunch of different panels to fit the style that you want. You can kind of match thicknesses on the different types you can get, and you could treat your whole space for a couple $100, if that. $20. If I get a couple more deals like this, I can treat this whole space with clouds and everything and not have to pay more than like $300-400. And I'm sure you're asking me at this point, is that normal for you to be able to find deals like that? Yeah, especially in a place like Los Angeles or a major city. There's constantly people moving in, moving out, starting hobbies, getting rid of items from hobbies they quit, stuff that they just had for a long period of time, but you're never gonna know unless you check. And most people just assume they're not gonna find anything good, so they never check. And yes, there's a lot of shoots and misses. You're not gonna get everything that you want all the time, but it's opportunities like this that make literally everything worth it. Again, the steal of a lifetime. I am unbelievably happy with how this week went. And of course, I gotta shout out Orian, Six, and Silky, because without them, I didn't have to put in much, but I wouldn't have been able to even get the acoustic treatment if I didn't have people come to me trusting me with what it is that they do so that I can continue to do this series for you guys. Again, I just want to try to provide value in whatever way I can. I want to take you guys along for some of the things that I'm doing, and I want to just keep building, man. And I want to show you guys that you could do the same thing too. I've essentially built my business off of Facebook Marketplace. Everything that I've gotten for my business, for the most part, my lighting, my aperture lights, stands, tripods, all of it, cameras, lenses, a lot of stuff I've gotten off of Facebook that's now helping me make money. And you could be in the same position if you just got out of your way just enough to take the chance, not only on yourself, but on Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp. You never know, it's worth the look. I'm not saying you have to, but it's helped me a lot. If you want to try your hand and join the challenge, you could tag me and hashtag Gig to Gear Challenge, and let's see what you guys are picking up. I've actually got some more updates. Obviously, we've got Juice and we've got Silky on the challenge. PD's actually sent me photo updates, letting me know he's gonna make a video update, so I want to wait for that to show his stuff. But in the meantime, if you want to, you could follow me for the drop-worthy stuff every Saturday at 7 p.m. or for whatever free live streaming content creation or music game that I'd be giving out during the week. If you want to see the type of work that I do for my clients, you can follow my business page at On The Track Productions. That'll be tagged below as well. And again, guys, I love wins. I love a good deal. What an amazing deal that was. Take a chance on yourself. See if you can't find a deal too. Join me. Join me in the wonderful world of Facebook Marketplace and offer up. I promise you, you're not going to regret it. Until next time, peace.